From the sound of things, Plandiland, you know we're talking the Youth Agricultural Homestead Project, brought to you by the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service. And this morning, to tell me more about it, we're joined by the Technical Coordinator, Marketing, Youth Agricultural Homestead Programme, Ajala Pilgrim, and Mr. Jabari Clarke, one of the graduates for the first cohort of the Youth Agricultural Homestead Programme on the Now Morning Show. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm particularly excited about this one because as the Minister was expressing that investment in youth and that investment in agriculture is something we've been seeing a lot of conversation about. So to get the first-hand experience of Jabari and to really understand what the Youth Agricultural Homestead Programme is, YAHP, tell me a little bit more, in a nutshell if you will, Ajala, what exactly the initiative is meant to do.
Sure. So the Youth Agricultural Homestead Programme is a strategic social intervention for young nationals of Trinidad and Tobago. So the purpose of the program is to provide the necessary technical and financial support for young persons interested in agriculture to get the necessary skills to become 21st century agribusiness entrepreneurs.
21st century agribusiness entrepreneurs gives it a different connotation.
Correct.
And this is one of the programs that also gives them, as you already mentioned, economic support as well, monetary support as well. So being more specific, what exactly do the persons involved in the cohort benefit from? What do they get?
Sure. So the program was designed in such a way where previous to this, getting into the agricultural industry was so difficult because of the amount of capital startup required to get in, one of them being land. So a strategic part of the program is one, providing them with the knowledge, so they will be going to the University of Trinidad and Tobago YAHP campus for 2 years, where they will do both theoretical and practical training. So they learn about all the aspects of agriculture, including crop science, animal husbandry, as well as agro-processing. Once they have successfully completed that part of the program, successful students are expected to receive 2 acres of land, as well as a homestead, and financial support more or less to kickstart the business. So not only are we putting new farmers into the industry, but we are also providing them with that additional kickstart to be successful in their endeavors.
A phenomenal way to kick things off. And Jabari, I must imagine that being not just exciting, but certainly a beautiful experience.
It is, I must say.
Tell me what your thoughts are, or how your experience was as one of the graduates for the first cohort.
So I would start by giving a small story about my background. I was first exposed to agriculture when I started it in secondary school. I was in about Form 3.
Right.
And I was able to complete it successfully. And while I was home during the COVID period, I was in UE, and I was able to start my agricultural business. So it was kind of, how to say it, luck, if you would see, when the program came about right when I started and I was ready to expand my business, and it came with a whole lot of opportunities and rewards.
I like the part about rewards because just this morning Ruckus was talking about, what is the benefit to persons, especially the generation that wants that instant gratification. This is at least 2 years of academics and putting in a lot of work. So have we seen the participants being in the larger end of the numbers that is completing the program as well, not just initially starting, but have we seen a lot of persons go through the program successfully?
Yeah, so far we have had 800 students benefit from the program. Each cohort accepts 200 students, so we have had 2 full-time and 2 part-time cohorts so far that have entered. Initially, we have had, so Jabari's cohort is actually cohort 1, and they would have fully completed their 2 years, and we would have seen a 75% to 80% success rate in terms of completion. So I would say so far, yeah, the success rate has been pretty good.
Good stuff. Now, in terms of long-term vision for the program, this morning we heard about the intention to inculcate corporate Trinidad and Tobago, but this is a little different. We're talking about entrepreneurship more so. So how would we describe the long-term intentions of the ministry?
So the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, as you know, youth, that is the main focus of the ministry. And the long-term vision is definitely to create agribusiness entrepreneurs that could go into the world and become successful in the agricultural industry and to bring that younger youth coming into the space. Additionally, some of the high-level, long-term initiatives or directions to success is the gross domestic product. We would like to see agriculture increase the gross domestic product, but also reduce the food imports bill, because we have seen during COVID period the effects that it has had in Trinidad and Tobago specifically.
Sure, for sure. Something that we could completely understand whether we're in the industry or not.
Correct.
As consumers of products, we're definitely looking forward to more things from you and the likes, Jabari. So tell me a little bit about some of your biggest takeaways or your biggest learnings from the program.
So some of the models I was exposed to were agro-processing, crop production, and livestock production. So I must say, being a crop production farmer with the expertise in hydroponics and hydroponic farming, when I was exposed to livestock and also the crop production, I was introduced to agriculture from a different direction that I wasn't privy to. So I also find the processing classes to be very informative, and it opened up my mind to the different avenues where I could get my products into. I don't necessarily have to just do a raw material. I could have it processed and have added value products. I could now get into the groceries, get into export.
Beautiful
So
stuff.
those are some of the things I was exposed to.
Things that you can lose immediately after exiting the program. And that means that from this conversation, you should anticipate some more applications. So how do persons get involved, Ajala? How can they apply?
So right now we have applications going, and it is expected to end on June the 28th. So persons who are interested in the program could go onto our ministry's website, which is mydns.gov.tt. They could also go onto our social media, the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service on Instagram or Facebook, or they could also go to Youth in Agriculture, and they will find all the details of how they could register. Persons can register online. They could also download the PDF document and fill out physically. And we have a number of locations across Trinidad and Tobago, one of them being the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service Head Office, which is on number 2 Elizabeth Street. And if they'd like additional information, they could call us at 612-9367, extension 5010 or 5003.
I'm not going to remember that number, but it is on the screen, because persons are certainly going to be ringing off the hook to get into these programs and all the others that my DNS is spearheading this morning. Now, Jabari, you've described to me that newly found interest, if you will, in not just going with one simple product, but diversifying a bit. And I'm wondering if that means that your future plans have changed a little bit. What do we expect from Jabari?
Well, at this point right now, there's a lot of things I'm exploring. When I originally started the program, as I said, I had my hydroponic business, and I was originally growing seasonings and herbs.
Right.
And while being exposed to the YAHP program, I was able to widen my mind on the possibilities. So I'm currently doing some community service work. I'm working with different schools, bringing awareness to the next generation about agriculture and how they can get into it, and showing them that agriculture is not just the farmer working in the field, but he's also an entrepreneur, and exposing the youths to entrepreneurship from an early age, but from the agricultural perspective.
Beautiful stuff. So if you were to inculcate it into one bit of advice, somebody's thinking about it, you want to give them the final push to help them get involved in agriculture. Maybe you could turn to the camera and say directly to the persons interested.
To those interested in agriculture and they need that final push, I would say, if it is that you aspire to be an entrepreneur, you want to have control of your life, your time, and your food security, agriculture is for you. Go after it. And there's a lot of resources that the government are providing. I want to say thank you to the MINDS team and everything that they have done for me with this program, providing me with the resources to really take control of my life and my food security.
And with that, I'm ready to go into agriculture too. I mean, how much better can it be? But on that note, we are going to wrap things up here. You guys remember to head to MyDNS online and get more information about the YAHP program and more. But for now, we take a break here on the Now Morning Show and come back.